Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingram Jones, and we are live. I believe we are live. It's good to be back. For those of you joining the show, don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. I will draw this out a little bit because I know people are going to be joining the show. I'm waiting for my good friend and brother Asghar Haye from Team Fury to join in as well. I'm looking forward to probably getting him on the show and talking. Right, so there's lots to talk about. I'm not going to get into those things, but what I will do is just talk about the things that Bellew TV have on the channel so far. I'll start by talking about. Hold on 1 second. Let me fix something here. Right, so there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning into Bellew TV boxing channel. There's lots to talk about. Last time I spoke, I think I spoke about Tony Bellew. I'm just waiting to see, as I'm just waiting for other people to join me tonight. So let me just check and see if just wait for him to join. When he joins in, I'll just okay. I have, if you check the recent interviews I did an interview with Stephen Marcana. He's the executive producer for Knockout, the TV show Knockout, that had Floyd Mayweather Sr., Yoel Judah, the father of Zab Judah, Sugar Shane Mosley was on the show, and it's about 3 top trainers, experienced trainers, world-class trainers training up fighters, something like the Contender series, but a lot better than that. In 2 series they've done, they're coming out with a 3rd series, and that's why I did the interview with. A bit different, not the usual run-of-the-mill interview, but talk a bit more about the promotion of boxing, numbers, TV promotion, what it takes to make a great TV show, and they come back for the 3rd series. So it was great to talk to Stephen Marcano, the executive producer of the TV show Knockout, which is filmed over in America. It's a great TV series. Check it out and watch that. So as I continue to wait for my guest, I'm here in the United States of America at the moment. I'm enjoying a nice break. It's been a long run. It's been a nice break. So yeah, just waiting for people to come into the room. So I'll be able to start my talk. First of all, congratulations to Tony Bellew, the new WBC light heavyweight champion of the world. No surprise to me whatsoever. A lot of people expected Tony Bellew to get knocked out. And I guess in the first round when he went over by Makubu, they're open and vulnerable to that left hand. He had his chin in the air. Up to the left, and he's lucky he made that guy punching like a day because the fight came in over there. And then at the end of the round, I was able to get through and come back and score a knockout victory over Makubu. Coming to the fight for Tony Bellew, for me, I always thought Tony Bellew was a good boxer. My concerns about Bellew was it's putting it all together on the night, and I believe that Tony Bellew, for me personally, was a good boxer. But on the night against Makubu, he needed to prove to me that whether he was just a world-class gatekeeper or he actually was a real threat in the cruiserweight division. His punch power was the question mark for me, because up to that point, I didn't think Tony Bellew had knocked out anybody of any real substance. This guy came into the Makubu, who was a genuine threat. People considering one of the leading cruiserweights in the world. And a lot of people expected Tony Bellew to get KO'd in front of his fans in Everton. I saw that Bellew had height and reach advantage, and if he boxed well behind the jab and was able to land right hands, there was no reason why Bellew couldn't win the fight and outpoint Makubu. What I was shocked by was the fact that from the first round, Bellew was connecting with good right hands, and the right hands were straight rather than winging right hands. They were accurate. Makubu, for whatever reason, just could not get out of the way of the left jab and the right hand. Basically, it almost like Bellew was holding him up with one hand and punching with the other. I couldn't believe how, you know, how easy Makubu was being hit. You know, I seen how very little movement, and the way he was easily trapped in the ropes. It was like cat and mouse with Tony Bellew and Makubu. And after going down, got up, good recuperative powers. I think Bellew shown he's got good recuperative powers, and took out Makubu in the third round with a fantastic combination. So has Bellew got world-class punching power? You better believe he's got world-class punching power. Knocked out Makubu, who again was a leading cruiserweight. So I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, well, Makubu was a bum. And this was a guy that a lot of people expected Makubu to destroy Tony Bellew. I wasn't of the same belief. You go back and listen to my pre-fight. I said there's no reason why Makubu should be getting close to Bellew with the height and reach advantage that he has. And I think this is one of the few fights that Bellew's going to have in the cruiserweight division where he looks a giant compared to Makubu. So that's a good performance. Whether Tony Bellew is the best light heavyweight cruiserweight in the world, well, I'm not going to go as far as that. Whether he's one of the best cruiserweights in the world, yeah, okay, I'll have that. Hold on a second. I've got a voice call coming through here with Mr. Asgar. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is live stuff here. Hello. Asgar. Hello? Asgar, you there? You're just waiting for Asgar of Team Fury to join us. Let me see if I can bring him into the call. I'm just going to try and bring him into the call. And bring him in. Let's see. So I'm just waiting for Asgar to come in. I think he's trying to get into the call. But yeah, in terms of Tony Bellew being the best cruiserweight in the world, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He beat Makubu. Makubu hadn't fought for a year, so we could say inactivity. But Makubu was a guy who, you know, he does get hit in his fights. So Bellew proved to me in this fight that he certainly is a cruiserweight to be taken a second look at and to be taken on more seriously. And for all those people who said Makubu was going to blow him out in a couple of rounds and Bellew's crap and stuff, well, I think you need to look at Tony Bellew again. The story about Tony Bellew I kind of like is because, you know, the fight he had against Cleverly first, I thought Cleverly, you know, just beat Bellew. Then, you know, he fought Adonis Stevenson, and he was okay in the Adonis Stevenson fight. But as far as I was concerned, in the Adonis Stevenson fight, you know, you knew that Adonis Stevenson at some point was going to land that left hand, and when he did, it was curtains for Tony Bellew. Up at cruiserweight, you know, he came in the cruiserweight division, being down, got up, and in fights, and beat Cleverly in the rematch. I was surprised actually because Bellew wasn't able to KO Cleverly, who'd been stopped by Kovalev at the light heavyweight division. I thought that, you know, it didn't matter how hard Bellew hit Cleverly, he was still there. So I didn't think that Bellew punched that hard. So I don't know if Makubu's chin isn't great or Tony Bellew is actually a genuine cruiserweight puncher. That I don't know until he fights someone like a Usyk, or he fights a Lebedev, or even he fights a David Haye. We'll then know what sort of a real puncher Tony Bellew is. But congratulations to him being cruiserweight champion. He's done it the right way. I think he's done it the right way. He's fought for, you know, various belts along the way. Similar to Tyson Fury, being dropped in fights, got up from fights, although he's not unbeaten, Bellew, being in tough fights, not looked great in fights, but still got the win. And now going on now to become world champion, he's done it for me the right way. Whether Bellew's going to be a world champion, is going to stick around for a long time. Again, I don't know. The way he went over my Makubu, you kind of wonder if a Usyk hits him on the chin like that, if a Denis Lebedev catches him like that, you know, it could be curtains. But at the same time, if he hits these guys the same way he bombed out Makubu, and he hits Lebedev the same way, he hits Usyk the same way, we'll have to wait and see. Glowacki, an interesting fight. How would Bellew do against Glowacki in a unification bout? How would he do? I think some people would say Glowacki would be the favorite. Again, he's a big, strong, young cruiserweight who's got some credentials going in there. Michael Huck. Here we go. Asgar's trying to come through again. Let's have a look. Asgar, you there? Asgar, you there, brother? I'm good, brother. Are you? Can you come through on the Google Hangout? No, you need to. There's a link I gave you on in your direct message. Click that, go through that, and then we can talk. Yeah, I'll see you in about 5 minutes. I'm doing the live show. That's Asghar Tahir here from Team Fury, so I'll be getting the latest news on that. So it's all happening at the moment. So going back to my point, I was talking about Tony Bellew, whether Bellew will be around to fight the elite cruiserweights, well, and beat the elite cruiserweights, I don't know. But on that performance, it looked pretty good. Punches were straighter. The right hand that I criticized Tony Bellew for, it took like you could add a cup of tea and come back when Bellew threw his right hand. Tonight, it looked, on the night against Makubu, it looked very good. There were straight right hands. They were straight down the pipe, which is very good. Against Mastinek and against other fighters, his right hand has looked pretty predictable. So this was pretty good. The combination looked sharp. He looked good. And guess probably the sharpest I've seen Tony Bellew in a boxing ring. So it's all on the line. It all came together, and that's fantastic. And credit to Dave Colwell. I've given Dave Colwell quite a bit of stick as a trainer because I just didn't feel that he was, you know, I didn't think that he was. I didn't think that Colwell was that great a trainer. I thought he was okay. And again, Colwell didn't train Bellew from scratch, but obviously, you know, he's the trainer there now, and you've got to give him credit. Bellew's now a world champion, and he could say he has trained a world champion, and he has been in the corner as the head coach, as trainer to Tony Bellew. I've always said Tony Bellew's had skills, had the skills to become a world champion. It's the matter of whether he could put it together on the right night. And a credit to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn to be able to get their fighter in a position to fight at home, you know, and to actually fight at Everton ground for Tony Bellew. So it's brilliant. The Rocky dream has come true for Tony Bellew. And that's great. And you know, I'm always one to put my hand if I get it wrong, like, you know, if I haven't got something right. But you know, we have to now talk about other events that have been happening. Tony Bellew now wins the WBC title, and it all seems quite familiar if you've ever heard this before. Tony Bellew wins the WBC Cruiserweight Championship of the world. What's the other gentleman's name who won the WBA the heavyweight championship of the world? Lucas Brown wins the heavyweight championship of the world. And guess who comes around the corner talking? David Haye. David Haye's calling out Tony Bellew. Oh, Tony Bellew this, Tony Bellew that. You know, you won the world championship. Now let's have a fight. David Haye will use any avenue whatsoever to get his face spoken about. Is he realistically going to boil himself back down to cruiserweight and fight Tony Bellew? If so, why? In that case, David, if that is the case, and you're going to boil yourself down to fight Tony Bellew at cruiserweight, it just looks like you're just trying to find the biggest money you can make as quick as possible, using the easiest routes, and you just don't care how you'll go about it. You know, somebody wins a world title. Oh, hey, I'll fight you. You win. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. you know. But why don't you fight since you've made your comeback? You fought nobody. You fought two laughable opponents since you've come back. You fought Mark Demori, who got chinned in around by a guy called Digger that nobody knows. Now you've literally dug up a guy from the yellow pages of who is he, the boxing fraternity, right? You pull up this guy called, I can't even pronounce his last name, the Cobra, right? Who's getting beaten up in sparring, I believe, by Tyson Fury. You pull this guy up out of I don't know where, and then a farcical fight with him, and then you think you've got the audacity after, you know, upsetting fans around the world who expected you to see Tyson Fury twice, fight Fury twice, didn't happen. Pulled out against Vitaly Klitschko with a bad back, and all the things with Manuel Shah as well. Do we need to remind the boxing world? And now you're taking the boxing world for a laugh by basically, this is the David casual fan maker. Hey, Haymaker, no, he's the casual fan maker. Basically, he's appealing to the casual public, those who don't know, who don't understand the game of boxing, who are not clued up on the game of boxing, the sport of boxing. Can't use the game. Who are not clued up on the sport of boxing. Those people who don't understand what it's about. They don't understand you know, the abilities of certain fighters, the ranking system, you know, the skill levels, how a fighter's rated. Those, they don't know that. They just know David Haye, big puncher against some other guy, and David's going to knock him out. And they just tune up to see knockouts, and fair play. They're tuning to see boxing bouts. I've got, oh, let's see something what's going on. Asgar back again. He wants to tune in. Let's see. Asgar, forgive me for this, people. Asgar, what's up? Let me try and get me in the show. Hold on. Asgar from Team Fury wanted to join me on the show. I'm just trying to bring him in. Please forgive me for this moment. I didn't bring you a real good show tonight. Let's bring him in. So just bear with me a second, people. Forgive me, people. Right, let's get back to the show. Right. So here's David Haye now saying he wants to fight all these people. Look, David, people will take you seriously if you start fighting decent opponents. For example, if you want to fight for the Cruiserweight Championship of the World against Tony Bellew, get in line. Why don't you fight somebody who's decent in the Cruiserweight division? Somebody in the top 10 of the Cruiserweight division. Why don't you fight somebody decent in the Cruiserweight division? Why are you in the Heavyweight division if you're so quick you can take a fight against Tony Bellew? Don't get it. Looks like you're just trying to make money. And you've got to fight against Shannon Briggs you need to honor. So for me, you need to fight Briggs first. Get this Briggs fight out of the way. You know, people say, well, Briggs is old. Okay, he's old. But the one thing we know is Briggs can punch. And for the first 3 rounds of that fight for David Haye, he better be in great shape. And he better make sure that Briggs don't hit him. Because if Briggs hits him, trust me, the fight is over. And Briggs has got a real good shot against David Haye now, I think, in my opinion. He's got a great shot. If David comes in heavy, like he's been coming in at the moment, Briggs takes a great shot too. It'll be interesting, be a good fight. I think it's a good fight, exciting fight to look forward to. So, as I wait for others to join the room, let's see who's in the room at the moment. Hello? Let's see. Asgar, you still here? Where are you, mate? I can hear you, but hello? Hold on. You, Asgar, you still, where are you, mate? Hello? Hello? Are you there? I can hear you talking to me on my phone, but I can hear you talking to me on my phone, but I can't see you on my live show. I can't see you there. You're on my phone at the moment. You're not coming on the live stream. What I'll have to do, I'll stop this broadcast and then bring you in for a live show afterwards. How does that sound? Because you're coming from my phone for some reason. I don't know why. Right. Sorry about that. So that's Asgard here from Team Fury trying to get the latest up in camp. So I'm talking about David Haye and Tony Bellew. Let's see, you've got people in the room here. Right, great people in the room. How are we doing, people? Keenfo says, Haye just looks way too big for Bellew. Yeah, at the moment he does. I've got to agree with that. Mr. Mets 85, Bellew's a character. He may be interest for the casual fan. The cruisers are excited, but ever since Haye left, they haven't been a mainstream star. Please get Uncle Bashir to come on. I will talk to Uncle Bashir. I'm trying to do something really, really special for you boxing fans who've been, loyal to Bayloric TV. We're trying to do something very, very special. We're trying to bring you certain interviews that you're not seeing every day. We're trying to work on some special things for you there. So bear with us. Hello. Kilcree says, calling out Haye and Fisheye comment. I got Haye to win against Bellew. Briggs heavy and cruiserweight looking good. Light heavy is not except the wall fight. Stevenson need better opponents. Okay, there's a lot to talk about there. Bellew called Haye first. Bellew called Haye put first. I think that Haye was talking about Bellew a while back. Thumbs up. Thumbs way up, Ingram. Thank you, Kilgreed. Apollo on YT. Hi. Okay, Mr. Mets. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say hello. Hope you and the family are safe and well. Haye could sell TVs to the blind. Haye will definitely use the Bellew fight as an avenue to get back on Sky box office. Jerry Boy says, would love Bellew to KO Haye, but can't see it happening. Haye would demolish him. Bellew and Briggs both called him out, so nothing wrong with him accepting, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Bellew will fight anybody. I've got no doubt Bellew will fight anybody in the world, and that's one thing we can't say. Bellew's scared of anybody. As for David Haye, there are some question marks about his comeback. It seems a very casual comeback, casual in the sense that when you look at greats who make comebacks, Ali when he made his comeback, for example. If Haye wants respect from boxing fans, then he should fight someone. If he wants money, then he should keep doing what he's doing. J124, I totally agree with you. I couldn't agree more with you. David Haye's got to fight somebody of substance. Now the Shannon Briggs fight, when we think of Shannon Briggs fight, we think of Shannon Briggs, the big puncher. We can't say Shannon Briggs, the world-rated Shannon Briggs. We can't say Shannon Briggs, the young Shannon Briggs. We can't say Shannon Briggs, who's fought 3 legitimate fighters to be fighting for getting a world title shot, or Shannon Briggs, the guy who is in the top 10 and he's young and he's hungry. We can't talk about that as Shannon Briggs. We're only talking about Shannon Briggs, David Haye, some sort of a fantasy fight in a hope that it would live up to something that would have happened 10 years ago. That's all. Shannon Briggs is, what, 44 years old now? And while he's young, there's nothing on the form guide of Shannon Briggs in terms of the guys he's fought in the last, since he's come out, since fighting Vitaly Klitschko. There's nobody in Briggs's record you could say, yeah, that fight right there, I saw, they gave me hope that Briggs could win this fight against Haye. All we're hoping for Briggs fans, and Let's Go Champ, and the whole Rocky story, the whole thing we want about Briggs is the Briggs that he can put up a performance, give us a good fight. Some people want Haye to get knocked out because I think that Haye's taking them for a ride, or taking the boxing fans for a ride, and I can understand that. So yes, Guna, Mr. Met on the comeback, Ali comeback, he fought the likes of Poirier and Bonavia at the Bonavia. I agree with you. Ali fought top guys in his comeback. David Haye never fought really quality heavyweights as a heavyweight. He's coming back and fighting less quality. I mean, if you listen to David Haye carefully, I'm not sure he's trying to fool. His first choice, Mark Demore, he said that Mark Demore had never been dominated. He got chinned in around by a guy called Digger. So that's the first thing. Hold on, people. Sorry. Hello? Asgar. Don't know what that's all about. Anyway, he's trying to call and come in, but for some reason he keeps calling me my phone and not calling me on my. Hello, Asgar. Hi, Asgar. You keep coming through onto my phone. Yeah, yeah, I'm good, but you keep coming through on my phone and not coming through on the screen. I don't know why that is. I've got no idea why it keeps happening. All right, what I'm going to do, I'll finish this show off, and then I'm going to contact you back, and we'll come and do a live show straight afterwards. So I'll cut this in half. Yeah, in a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, people, I'm going to cut this show in half, and I'll do this show here, and then I'm going to come back with Asgar Tahir, the one of the main guys in Team Fury. Bring him back, and he'll be talking. So we'll bring him in as well. So I'll do this in a half show, cut this show in half, and I'll come back. Okay. So yeah, the David Haye comeback. Yeah, I mean, like we say with Shannon Briggs and David Haye, Shannon Briggs has fought nobody of note on his comeback, really, to be honest. But we're entertained by Shannon Briggs. It's a promotional thing. We're entertained. As for David Haye, he's got no excuses. No excuses whatsoever. If anything, I'll talk about David Haye. David Haye said that his comeback opponent against Mark Demore was the guy who had never been dominated. He got chinned in a round by a guy called Digger. Now this next guy he pulls out from God knows left field, the Cobra, right? He brings the Cobra. He says he's using the Cobra to prepare to fight tall heavyweights. Hold on. If you hadn't fought Bellew, who's like 7'1", if you hadn't fought Klitschko, who was God knows how tall, 6'6" or 6'5", or when he's on stilettos, he's the same height as Tyson Fury, or when he fought Augie Harrison. I mean, surely those guys were giants, David. And then you fight a guy who nobody's heard of. He's unbeaten, and then you knock him down with a jab. I mean, I don't know who he's talking when he does these interviews. I don't know why people don't pull him up and say to him, David, who are you trying to fool here? You fought Bellew, you fought Klitschko, you fought Harrison. Good evening, Mark Smith. You fought Harrison, you fought Klitschko, you fought Bellew. 3 tall heavyweights. If that guy was taller than Bellew, I'd understand. So where's David going through, I'm going to fight a guy that's tall? If you fought those 3 guys. And the other question is, how much has David Haye's style changed? If you're trying to prepare yourself to fight taller guys, surely when you were weighing 15 stone 5 pound or whatever, 15 stone, whatever you were weighing when you fought Klitschko, when you were primed, as everyone would say, in your peak, right? At that time, you couldn't get past the left jab of Vladimir Klitschko. Your answer to get past a jab of Vladimir Klitschko was to throw, chucking an overhand right, because your boxing skills. You never been able to slip a jab and get inside, just not your style. And against a guy who's got a good jab and can maneuver himself around the ring, you openly admitted, and your trainer admitted in Sky Sports, you didn't know how to get past a jab. It was difficult for you. So somehow in this new phase of the David Haye Mark II model, you're heavier, you're bigger, but somehow you're able to get past the left jab now of a Klitschko. Should you fight a Klitschko again, you're bigger, you're slower, and there's no. And another point I would like to ask boxing fans: when would you say is David Haye's peak? Would you say David Haye is peaking now as a heavyweight, or would you say he was peaking at the point where he won the cruiserweight championship of the world and stepped up to heavyweight? Where is David Haye's peak, please? And Mark Smith says, David Hate, just hoping to get the WBA regular. We love to nickname him David, the casual fan maker. Hey, because he. Anyway, Kino says, hopefully Haye versus a decent heavyweight after Briggs. Good point. Jerry Boy 3699 says, has Haye banned Paul Dempsey from interviewing him for asking the wrong questions? Journalists in the UK need to step their boxing journalists in the UK, call them all out. They need to start asking some proper questions. Start asking questions we can get proper answers to. Ask David Haye, why is he fighting these levels of opponents that are so poor, that are so beneath him? Why is he fighting them? If he's wanting to fight, if he's willing to fight Bellew as a cruiserweight, which is the fight that qualifies him to fight for the cruiserweight championship of the world? Shouldn't he fight the #1 contender for the WBC cruiserweight championship of the world before he gets a title shot at the WBC? Surely. And when did Mark Demori become a guy that is recognized within the top 10? I don't get it. Mark Smith says, Amsoft says, it's a farce. David Haye's a joke. Shows the state of boxing. It does. It's laughable. Cruiserweight. Haye can fight who he wants, though. The casual fans just show up to watch him versus anyone. I agree. Amsoft says he was cashing in against Bellew. Haye is none of the top 5 heavyweights in the world. Spark Chisora, first man to spark Chisora like that. Yeah, that was. Yeah, he was. That was a good performance. Why didn't Haye move on from that point? I don't get it. He was the first man to spark Chisora, indeed. Okay. Since then, you know, Chisora's been beaten by Fury convincingly again, and Chisora has been beaten by Pulev. So, you know, Chisora hasn't. David Haye's proven he can beat domestic and European opposition. That level he's proven. But who's the best heavyweight he beat as a heavyweight? Yeah, that's the question. Like, because the public are being conned, if Matchroom can do David Haye, I'm not agreeing Matchroom should do it, but a lot of people seem to be sucked into the Matchroom thing. Look, Matchroom, if you look at it, if you look at their budgets, they're not prepared to do certain things. Did you hear that? That's some serious thunder there, yeah? Serious thunder. David Haye's cheat the public. My mates are casuals and was saying before Haye fight that the guy he was fighting had not lost. I asked him who he'd beat and that it wouldn't go past 2 rounds. Yeah, that's what happens, Mark Smith. This is what happens. Haye has cheated the public numerous times, can't be trusted. Haye is a steroid cheat. Now, I heard this story a long while back about David Haye. That's why he kept, you know, fighting once a year and not fighting often so he can get this stuff out of his system. I did hear that story. I don't know how true it is. And the whole injury that he had was covering up the steroid thing. I heard this story. I don't know how true it is. But, you know, if he's the golden boy of boxing, I'm not saying David Haye is, but, you know, it's amazing how his body gets built up so quickly and stuff. Haye was huffing and puffing after 2 rounds. Well, we want to see when Haye gets pushed. And I hope Shannon Briggs can push Haye. But if he doesn't, you know, a lot of people do want to see the fight. Some people don't want to see the fight. But hey. I don't know what's more. The rules state it's allowed if it's medication. Now the rules state if it's allowed, it's a medication. Steroid use. Okay. Well, on the subject of steroid use, the story now has come out that we all know that most boxers are taking PEDs. Indeed, the latest story coming out of Moscow or Russia is that Povetkin is innocent and that Wilder's team are about to get sued. Either way, somebody's lying. And why was it said months before the Povetkin fight was even mentioned or was going to be announced that Wilder was going to pull out a week before the fight over PEDs? How? I mean, I heard that story. I mean, I can't believe how that came out of the wash and it happened. I'm shocked. So Povetkin's been cleared. Casual fans that see that's how they sell the fight with Martin and this Brazil. Okay, I understand. I said that the PEDs need to be legalized in boxing. I said the reason why is because everybody can have a PED, and that way, then there can be no cheats as such. Level playing field. That's not going to happen. So yeah. So those are my thoughts on that. Deontay Wilder. Stiverne talking about wanting to fight Deontay Wilder. Stiverne needs to be fighting somebody, man. I got to get Bermains back on. He ain't fought nobody. Now he talked to James Elliott Bashir as well. But I'm working on some stuff here for you guys that I'm sure you'll enjoy once I've done it. I will say this much. Team Wilder was set because they lost on the purse bids. Okay. Well, we'll have to see how that all works out. Right. I'm going to stop this show for a moment because I'm going to try and bring Asghar Taher in so we can have a two-way show. We're having somebody else on the show as well. And we could talk about Fury. We can talk about various subjects as well. Stiverne versus Chambers will be good. Drugs in the Olympics as well. I agree. Guys, give me a moment. Guys and girls, give me a moment. I'll be back. Check out for the link. I'll share it via the Google Plus. I'll share it via the Twitter, Facebook. I'll be back in about 15 minutes, and I'll be doing a joint show of Asghar Taher. Thank you for joining in. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. When I come back, I will have Asghar Taher from Team Fury, and we should have some fun with that. I know a lot of you seem to like Asghar for his forthright opinions. They should just have steroid Olympics where it's legal to take drugs and see how much better they are. I think that would be quite funny. This has been Ingram Jones. I'll be out. See you in 15 minutes.